Namaskar everyone. Here is episode 3 of book series 1 on HTW, where Bharat heals through wisdom. Starting with our very first quote from the book on fear. Fear does not prevent death, it prevents life, by Gautam Buddha. Interesting. एक एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं यार. So there was a guy who was coming from his college, and while he was coming home, he had an accident. After lots of medications and physiotherapy, he got normal, but in that while, he broke his leg and an arm. तो इस इंसिडेंट को ऐसे देखें अगर कि जो उस इंसिडेंट का इम्पैक्ट था डेथ पे, वो तो हो चुका. अब इंटरेस्टिंगली ये इंसिडेंट उसकी लाइफ में वापस तो हुआ नहीं. तो if he makes his future decisions based on this one decision now, he is actually preventing his life and not. The very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita presents a classic situation from the epic Mahabharata, where Arjun, the hero of heroes, the one with super exceptional warrior skills, the one who is full of mastery and art, drops his bow. Why? Because of fear. The author says, each one of us has so much to offer to the world, but fear and anxiety disconnect us from our abilities. Problem पता है क्या है? While growing up, we are indirectly or directly taught that fear is bad. देखो हम सब ने सुना है don't be scared. Fear is considered something embarrassing, humiliating, something which should be ignored or hidden. But the truth is, we'll never live without fear or anxiety. Because in reality, fear is a signal coming from your mind trying to indicate that something is bad. और हम क्या करते हैं? Simply उस सिग्नल को जज करते हैं into bad or good. और जज करना तो छोड़ो, उसके आगे भी हम लोग उससे भाग लेते हैं या फिर उसके अंदर बरी हो जाते हैं. In reality, it's what we do with that fear that matters. Either we can put fears to push us and motivate us to do something and develop solutions, or we can simply lie hopeless and do nothing about it. The author says the more we let our fears with ourselves, the more we ferment it until they become toxic. In the Mahabharata, just before the war began, Arjun, our hero, overcomes the fear. Arjun's fear made him pause before going into the battlefield, which everybody was doing. But his fear led him to question his actions for the first time. And imagine, without it, a long conversation about human morals, spirituality, and how life works as per God would not have come into structure in the form of a book. This book has served, is serving, and will continue to serve millions of people. Uncover, accept, and create a new relationship with your fear. You will be amazed after seeing the result it brings out to you and more. Now, let me be honest. When I was reading this book, especially this chapter, and especially the last line, I was like, यार मैंने तो काफ़ी बुक पढ़ रखी है, and currently I'm doing pretty good in my life. So I think I need not go through my fears. I mean, मुझे नहीं लगता इतने fears हैं मेरे, so I'll just, be okay with it. But that's when the author stressed upon the fact that even if you're hardcore confident that you don't have any fears, go through them. Cool. So I sat down with it and I thought मेरे को 1 घंटा लगेगा ये सब figure out करने में and to reach to the root cause. मेरा बिल्कुल भी मन नहीं था ये सब करने का, but I still sat down with a table, chair, pen and paper, and it took me less than 45 minutes to figure everything out in detail. I also got two realizations. First, that I figured out those fears which I thought are not my fears. And the second one, I proved myself wrong in the thinking that thinking and writing down fears is just a... Yes, so now in that time frame, I tried to focus on my biggest fears and not the tiny ones. बता दूं? चलो बता दे. One of my biggest fear was not being able to love back those people who love me with the same intensity. Therefore, the fear of displeasing people. Now, all those tiny fears that came up or I didn't write down were actually the branches coming from. So, for example, the fear of not passing in an exam was just a branch coming out from it. Like if I don't pass an exam, I might end up displeasing people whom I love. Bas, aur nahi kar rahi hu. So you see, this is what happens when you find the courage to fight your fear of fear. You end up realizing your fears, you end up finding a pattern, and you end up getting solutions for it. Right, so I just said fear of fear. Let's talk about it. The author says, we let our fears drive us, but fear itself is not our real problem. Our real problem is that we fear wrong things. What we should actually fear is that because of those, we will miss the opportunities that fear offers us. We often notice the warning that the fear is giving us, but somehow fail to get the guidance. Imagine if we try to just check what the fear is trying to indicate. Is it trying to say something, convey something? Just figuring this out, we might end up using fear as a tool, as a weapon for building best versions of ourselves. Take it this way. If you go to the gym, well, I do, you would have seen some stacked bars of weights and some big dumbbells. The more muscles you want to gain, the more you go against them. The more muscles you want to build, the more reps. So take it this way. Take your fears to be those stacked bars, those dumbbells. The more weight you'll put, the more muscles you'll gain. The more repetitively again and again you'll go out upon them, you'll end up gaining muscles. The book mentions Alex Honnold, the first man to climb El Capitan in Yosemite National Park without ropes. Yes, so a film was made on him named Free Solo, and later when he was interviewed, he said this: people talk about trying to suppress fear. I look at it at a different way. I try to expand my comfort zone by practicing the moves over and over again. I work through my fear until it's just not scary anymore. The stress response. Now let's imagine ourselves experiencing a virtual reality. A roller coaster ride with big ups and downs. Now imagine you're going to experience the biggest dip of the roller coaster. For that, you're going up slowly, going up slowly. You reach the saturation point, that dip, and suddenly you hit the dip. Now, I'm very sure all of us, if we would have been there, we would fear when that saturation point would come. That would have been a period of fear. And those periods are called high alert fear states. So when we hit these high alert fear states, our mind signals, our mind shouts, and that signal goes on to our body, and our body reacts with mainly two actions: fight or flee. In this example, if you hold your chair, shrink your eyes but not close them entirely, you decide to experience still, you're fighting. But if you shout or just close your eyes or just throw the VR, you're actually fleeing. उस एग्जाम्पल में वापस देखो, VR एक्सपीरियंस खत्म होने के बाद यू माइट फील एक सेंस ऑफ अकम्प्लिशमेंट. ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि लगे कि यार वाओ आई डिड दिस, मुझे लगा था मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा ये, बट मैंने कर लिया. एंड सो in the near future, you might even also experience a real roller coaster ride, and that would make you feel even more confident, even more accomplished. Dealing with your fear gives you a sense of accomplishment. It gives you that confidence that yes, I have figured out things when things were bad, and so I'll be able to do it in my near future as well. Work with your fear. We already know that monks lead and start their journey with awareness. As we already discussed in a lot of detail in negativity session, we first need to notice our fears. We need to observe. We need to take a step back and see those fears. Accept your fear. Once you've figured them out, what do? You breathe in and you simply say, I see you. I see you, my pain. I see you, my fear. I see you, and I'm standing in front of you. Walk towards it. Become familiar with it. Be in the present time with that fear. Find fear patterns. We've figured out our fears. Now it's time to get personal with. Recognize those patterns in which it usually happens, those situations in which it usually happens. Basically asking the question to your fear, when do I feel you? I remember when I was going through my depression phase, I had a fear of people's opinion towards me. Because of that fear, I limited myself. I restricted myself. I remember I sometimes used to refuse to go out play. At times, I might even be absent in my school. I clearly feared what people will think of me because I was a bit different. And soon I was able to realize that that fear has crept in me. And maybe I'm destroying myself now. At a point of time, I didn't know what to do. I was away from the society, but also I figured out that this can be the opportunity. I can take this opportunity, take out time, take out effort, and realize what are my fears. Can figure out the patterns, can figure out even solutions for them. Of course, it takes a lot of time to figure all of it out, but here I am. It helps immensely. Now, one of the problems discussed in the books is not having role models. See, all of us need hope, and having role models serve as a way to see them as versions of us, what we want to see. So it just helps us to see things in a more positive way, that helps us to believe that, okay, good things also happen. And also earlier, we might not be doing things in a systematic manner, but seeing them, looking at their patterns, how they did it, actually might help us doing things more systematically, more logically. Of course, we don't have to blindly follow people, but again, as I said, we just need to see our version of what we want us to be in them and see that reflection, go about it. Trust me, that will help us immensely in achieving our goals. This is one of the biggest things that has helped me a lot. The cause of fear, attachment. The cure of fear, detachment. See, as we become aware of our fear, we must see fear as something separate from us, as we even discussed. But in reality, we usually don't. We associate the emotions coming from the fear as part of ourselves. I'll show you. We say, I am angry. I am sad. I am distressed. Instead, we could try saying, I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel distressed. And so this perspective helps us to see fears as something separate from us. Now, our biggest reason for fear is the need to control the sources from which it's coming. That's simply called attachment. The author says, clinging to temporary things gives them power over us, and they become sources of pain and fear. But when we accept the temporary nature of everything in our lives, we can feel gratitude to borrow them for a time. And so for most of us, that impermanence causes fear and pain. But now there is an interesting misconception about detachment. We often equate detachment as less amount of enjoyment. We think that seeing things, people, and enjoyment as temporary or from a distance actually reduces the amount of enjoyment. Okay? Imagine you driving a Rolls Royce, rental one. You have it for a week. अब खुद से सोच के देखो, wouldn't it allow you to have more joy? तुम्हें एक ऐसी चीज मिल रही है जो वैसे तुम्हें शायद कभी मिले नहीं, तो तुम उसके लिए grateful नहीं होगे? And isn't this the reason why we get happy when we go on a vacation? We don't get to experience or see those things on an everyday basis. And so we say, यार जब हम लोग वहाँ जाएंगे ना तो अच्छे से enjoy करेंगे क्योंकि वापस आकर तो हमें काम करना है. So detachment is the ultimate practice to not only minimize fear but also maximize happiness, managing short-term fear. The author says, detaching from your fear allows you to address them. The author also says, fear makes you fiction writer. What it means is that we start to anticipate the outcomes that have not yet come, that might not even come. We become best of the best writers. We have our plot, we have our fear, we have all the ideas, and we have best stories coming out at play. All of them being in our imagination. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca says, our fears are more numerous than our dangers, and we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Now, there's an old Taoist parable about a farmer. I honestly thought of skipping it because it was a bit lengthy, but I could not because it was also interesting. So there was a farmer whose horse once ran away. This is so unlucky, his brother says. Well, good things, bad things, who knows? The farmer says. A week later, the horse finds its way back to home, and with it is a beautiful white mare, a female horse. That is so amazing, his brother says. Good things, bad things, who knows? The farmer says. Now, a week later, the farmer's son climbs up the mare, hoping to tame it. But she becomes angry and throws him on the ground, and he breaks his leg. That is so unlucky, his brother said. Good things, bad things, who knows? The farmer said. The next day, all of the village men are called up and are given an order of a military exercise. That's a really tough one. But his son gets excused because of his broken leg. Well, again, same. That is so amazing, his brother says. Good things, bad things, who knows? The farmer says. And so we see that the farmer doesn't get lost in what ifs. He sees what is. He was not judging the moment. He was trying to be present in them. However, it's still hard to not judge the moment and look for opportunities when your fear is acting like a whirlwind inside your body. And so the book has 3 practical and easy ways to go about them. First, short circuit fear. Interestingly, the most powerful tool to short circuit our fear is within us, our breath. Now, when I speak in front of the camera, in front of you guys, I am fearing. I am nervous. Public speaking and speaking on camera is one of the biggest fears. I know I am sweating when the AC is on in my room. And so just being conscious about your breath. Like now, if I consciously put, I know that I am exhaling through my mouth as I speak. Now I just inhaled and I am exhaling from both my nose and my mouth. So these few seconds when I just got conscious onto my breath, I did feel that everything else was going unconsciously. Like I was speaking subconsciously. So this will simply help you to dim all those activities that are going on around you, that you are doing, and shift your focus onto your breath. That will help you to stay in the present moment, and you wouldn't even know your fear would actually pass. Second, see the full story. See, when we passed a phase of instability or fear, we now fear what's ahead. तो उस चीज के लिए ना, we just need to see our past experiences. The author says, life isn't a collection of unrelated events. It's a narrative that stretches into the past and the future. It's better to try see our lives as a single long continuing story and not just disconnected pieces. So when we see those past fears as something we've actually overcome, we can gain strength for our upcoming fears. We see and gain a new perspective that if we have done this, if we have been through this horror, we'll be able to go through even more. We'll be able to go through our bad times as well. I know it's not that easy to tell ourselves that all of this that's going on is something happening for good. I remember a few days back itself when I was going through some bad phases, I wasn't able to figure out why is this happening. I didn't know why and how would I be able to overcome it. How is this coming out to be good? Again, needed to look back into past, saw that I have overcome my fears. I have gone through these hardships, and so maybe this time as well I'll be able to overcome this. I just need to go on, just need to move forward, just need to overcome this one as well. I know things will turn out to be good again. Third, revisit long-term fears. So now it's easy to use a breath for short-term fears, but long-term fears are much more difficult. They distract us, and most of our response for them is burying down or running away from them. When we deny our fears, those problems follow us. And in fact, at the back of the stage, they're actually getting bigger and bigger. At some point of time, they will force us to deal with them. And maybe pain will make you pay attention to them at a point of time. The author says, if we don't learn from the signal that alerts us to a problem, we end up learning from the results of the problem itself. But if we face a fear, we stay, we deal with the fear, we become stronger as a result. It is said that when the fear of staying the same outweighs the fear of change, that is when we change. Go. Find out what your fear is. See it in its eye. Go and live and make it your home. In reality, the lesser you are having panics, the lesser you are having fears, the more chances are that you're burying them and you're running away from them. And so that takes us to the point from where we started. It's good to have fears. Well, this was our episode 3 from our book series Think Like a Monk. यही बोलूंगी, बुक पढ़ के देख, मजा तो आ ही जाएगा.